Yo, what is up, guys? VALtheVAL here with another Fortnite video. Today, we are going to be ranking all of the weapons in Chapter 3, Season 3. The ones that are available, at least. So, yeah, let's get started. Before we do this, though, I just want to say that these are my opinions, so please don't get too mad if I put your favorite weapon in the F tier. I'm sorry, man. This is just what I think about these weapons. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And, yeah, let's get started. All right, so we are going to start with the auto shotgun. In my opinion, this is probably the easiest shotgun to use this season and probably the most consistent because of that. But I don't like the damage. Like, I feel like when I'm using this thing most of the time, I'm hitting 20s or 30s, and it's probably because I'm not using it the right way. Like, I've always enjoyed the one pump playstyle, so I like the slower shooting, you know, high damage to the head kind of shotguns. So I'm not really a big fan of the auto, but it's not completely terrible. So I think I'm gonna put it in. Let's put it in B tier. I think B tier is fair for this thing. And I know there's going to be people that are mad about this because there's a lot of people that love the auto, but I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's pretty mid. All right, up next, we have the Combat SMG. This is probably the most powerful weapon in this season. Like, I die to this thing almost every time. I'd probably say like maybe 95% of my deaths in zero build are to this thing, the Combat SMG. By the way, this tier list is based off of zero build, not the build modes, because I don't really play the build modes very much anymore, and when I do, I play arena. So this is my ranking of these weapons in regards to Fortnite zero build only. So Combat SMG, like I said, I think this thing is the most powerful weapon in the meta. Like, the fact that everyone puts this in their loadout and it just shreds people, it's just a monster, man. So I gotta put Combat in the S tier. Even though I hate dying to it and I hate using it, it's really good. It's really freaking good. All right, up next we have one of the newer weapons this season, the DMR. This thing is a freaking monster. I think if you learn how to use the DMR, you're probably one of the scariest players in the entire lobby. Like, this thing just melts people from range. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't really match my play style of, I guess, sniping, though. I like the one shot to the head does a lot of damage kind of snipers, and this one's definitely not that. I mean, it still does decent headshot damage, but you got to hit them multiple times for it to really get the effect out. That aside, though, DMR is really freaking good. Very good weapon this season. So I think I'm going to put it in the A tier because of that. All right, up next, we have the Boom Sniper Rifle. I wasn't even aware this is still in the season or the meta. Is this still in the game? Is the Boom Sniper Rifle still available? It is? What the heck, bro? I had no idea. I gotta figure out who sells this thing because I love using the Boom Sniper Rifle. I feel like this sniper, it's not really the best for killing people. It's more just annoying, especially if you're playing like duos or trios, man. Like, people just spam clingers all over the place. This weapon just gives me anxiety when people shoot me with it. I rarely ever get killed by it. It's just like, it's loud, it's scary, and it's annoying. So because of that, I think I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Like, for an exotic, it's not really the best, and getting kills with it, like, if you're versing like really bad players that have bad movement, maybe you get them. But if it's someone really good, you're gonna have a hard time getting a kill with this thing. It just doesn't do enough damage, and even if you tag them with it, I think it does what, like 60 damage from the clinger, which is not really a lot in zero build. Like, they're gonna heal that up pretty quickly. Up next, we have the Hammer Assault Rifle. I mean this when I say this. This is my favorite assault rifle they have ever put in this game. It is so good. And at first, I hated it, but now I love it. Like, once you get used to the recoil on this thing, it's a freaking monster. And even at close range, like, I've used this thing at like an SMG at certain times. Like, having this with a shotgun and a sniper, it's probably one of my favorite combos in the game. I love the Hammer Assault Rifle, and because of that, I'm gonna put it even above the Combat. Even though the Combat is still really good, the Hammer Assault Rifle is just freaking fantastic. I love it. All right, up next, we have the Harpoon Gun. I don't know if this really, I guess it does kind of qualify as a weapon. In terms of using it to kill someone, it's kind of hard to do. It's more of a troll item. And I mean, you can use it to fish too if you want heals, but I don't know. I haven't really been making a whole lot of harpoon plays this season, so I'm going to put the harpoon probably in D tier. It's not very good right now. Up next, we have, this is my favorite weapon in Fortnite. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. The heavy sniper, ever since it first got added to the game, this thing is literally my favorite. I love it. I call it my baby every time I find it. And they did nerf it to the ground a couple of times, and even now I don't think you can actually one-shot people with it that have full shield. I think it does like 198 max, but that's still a lot. Like, even with the nerfs, this thing is a freaking beast, and in the right player's hands, you can literally clutch up with this thing. And I've done it a couple times, and it's saved me on countless occasions. So the heavy sniper rifle is gonna go in the S tier for me, and it's gonna go right in front of the hammer. Because of that, I freaking love it, man. Like, the fact that this thing spawns all over the place this season is just my favorite thing ever. And I'm sure that annoys a lot of people, but I love it, man. And I love this season because of that. Up next, we have, this is the 6-shooter, right? Bro, who actually spends their gold on this thing? Like, this is probably one of the worst exotics they've ever put in the game. I'm sorry if you like this thing, bro, but it's trash. It's actual garbage. And I'm throwing it right in the F tier. I don't even want to talk about it, man. 6-shooter, just awful. Not enough ammo, and then even if you do hit them with the shots, it just doesn't do enough. So, F tier, easily. Revolvers! Oh, man. They're really just giving us all the worst ones right now. I don't think revolvers have any place in zero build. You get 6 shots. That's assuming you even hit any of them on the enemy. And even if you do, it doesn't really do that much. I think it's what, like maybe 100 if you get a headshot, which is hard to do with this weapon, by the way, especially with how much people move around. So, revolver it's pretty awful, and I don't think it's as bad as the 6-shooter though, surprisingly. So I'm gonna put it right above the 6-shooter, but also in the F tier. It's terrible. It shouldn't be in this meta, in my opinion. I never see anyone use it. I don't think I've died to a single revolver shot this entire season, or even last season, bro. Like, no one ever uses this thing. Up next, we have the Ranger AR, or I guess the AK. Let's call it Ranger for this video, though. I mean, it's a good weapon. It's like a basic assault rifle, right? Like, decent damage, decent range. The bloom on it can be bad at times. Like, when I use this thing, I found that I'm either doing really well with it or really bad with it, and especially like close range fights. Like, for some reason, the hip fire is just terrible. So Ranger, I think I'm gonna put it in the B tier, and I'm gonna put it. I think I'll put it behind the auto. Like, I think if I'm starting my game off, I'd rather have the auto than the Ranger. So we're gonna give it the B tier. Up next, we have the Shadow Tracker. I didn't use this gun very much at the beginning of the season, but my God, bro, you need to buy this if you have gold bars. Land at Sunny, get this thing. It's insane. I have lasered people with this thing from like 200 plus meters. Like, the fact that it's a pistol and it can still shoot from that far away is absolutely ridiculous. And even at close range, it's good. Like, this thing is a monster. So I'm gonna put it all the way at the top of A tier. Like, it's really good. I'd say this is probably the best exotic you can buy with your gold bars right now. It's so good, dude. And honestly, part of me wants to even put it in S, but I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know if it's quite S tier for me though, just because you have to spend gold bars on it. So I'm gonna keep it an A, all the way at the top of A tier. All right, next we have the pistol, the regular pistol. Even though this is like not really something you want in your end game loadout, it's really not the worst weapon. It's not as bad as the revolver, and early game fights, it's actually not the worst thing either. So I think I'm gonna put the pistol in C tier, maybe like the top of C tier. Like, it's decent. You just don't want to have a pistol end game, then it's not really gonna do much for you. It's good for early game fights. Next up, we have the Stinger SMG, the baby brother of the Combats. It's still good. It's not as good as the Combat. The Combat just shreds a lot faster, and even though the recoil is worse on it, it's just, I don't know, I'm more scared of someone using a Combat than a Stinger. This thing is a little bit more accurate, I think, at long range if you're using it the right way, but it's not as good as the Stinger. So I think I'm gonna put it at let's put it at the bottom of A tier. I think that's a good spot for it. All right, next we have the AUG. This is probably one of the best long-range assault rifles you can use in the game. It's extremely reliable. Like if you're lining up your shots right and you're shooting their head, you're gonna hit them almost every time. It's a very good weapon. The bloom on it is really good. Maybe at close range it kind of loses its value, but like medium long range, this thing is very, very good. And it was like that last season too. So I'm gonna put the AUG, or the burst assault rifle, I'm gonna put it in A tier, right below the Shadow Tracker. The Shadow Tracker is still better in my opinion. This thing is crazy, and it's like really close to being on S tier for me, but not quite there. So yeah, we'll put the AUG right there. Next up, we have the Striker Pump. This is my favorite shotgun to use this season. It does decent headshot damage. I think even like a gray one does 160, 165, which is really good. So if you're good with your headshots and you're very comfortable with close range shotgun fights, this thing is really, really good. Obviously, if you're missing your headshots, you're probably not going to do very well with this Striker. But if you're hitting them, it's awesome. So I'm going to put the Striker, I think, in A tier, and it'll be right behind the AUG. So A tier shotgun. Next up, we have the Dub. This thing is, damage-wise, is not very good, but movement-wise, it's amazing. Like, if you use this thing for mobility, it's all right. It's not going to be as good as the Shockwave or probably the Grappler, but it's decent. Am I going to spend my gold bars on it? Probably not. I feel like it's a waste. Like, if I'm going to spend my gold bars on any exotic, it's going to be the Shadow Tracker. So I'm going to put this... I think I'm going to put it right next to the Boom Sniper because it's just more of a troll weapon, I feel like. I don't really see people make a lot of plays with this thing. So we'll put the Dub Shotgun in C tier. And now we have the two-shot shotgun. Bro, I have so many mixed feelings about this thing. I like it, and I also don't like it. I'm just confused about it, you know? Like, the handling on it is really bad. The damage is decent since they buffed it, so if you do hit your shots, it's not the worst weapon. But I've had a lot of fights with it where sometimes it doesn't shoot, or it's really delayed. So until they fix it, I'm not a fan of it. I'm gonna put this in, I think, D tier. I don't know. I mean, maybe deserving of C. Nah, I'm going to put it in D tier, at least until they fix it. If they fix this thing and the handling's a lot better, and maybe the two shots that go off are a little bit closer together, maybe I'll move it to like B and possibly A. But right now, in the current state of the game, I think it's deserving of the D tier spot. So yeah, this is my ranking of all of the weapons in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Smash that like before you go, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace out.